In this El Cajon neighborhood, things are quiet. A horse enjoys the sunny weather. And across the street from its corral, a curious sight, this minivan with appliques that signal something sonorous. And there's a good reason that is not in here. That's because this is no ordinary garage. This is a place where musical magic happens.
After a number of auditions for the San Diego Symphony, I won a job as the fourth horn of the San Diego Symphony.
That's Doug Hall. He played French horn in the San Diego Symphony for 36 years. He retired a couple of years ago, but French horns are still a huge part of his life. He loves them so much that he makes and fixes them here. The garage at the home of another retired symphony musician houses his business, McCracken Horns. So why isn't it Hall Horns? Well, it's named for George McCracken, a legendary designer and creator of brass instruments.
It was like working with Leonard Bernstein in a French horn shop. I called George the Stradivarius of French horn making. I was with George McCracken in Virginia as an apprentice before I came to California. We built a lot of horns and I learned a lot. He was my teacher, mentor. So this is called a core solo.
If you've ever wondered about how a French horn works, Hall's the man with the answers.
It's a natural horn. It's a copy of a French instrument that was made in the 1800s. Little Beethoven.
Over the course of several hours we spent with Hall, videographer Carlos Castillo and I learned a lot about French horns. You'd be forgiven for thinking a French horn is a French horn, but there are actually myriad varieties, using metal bent into gentle curves, valves letting air in and out of here and there.
So this is the next horn I'm working on. It's a triple horn. You can see 3 sets of tubing, and it'll have valve slides. And this is the change valve, and this is something that George designed. And you'll have one on this side and one on this side to send the air between this set, and then this set. So they work together.
Back to Hall's story, he began his musical life in a rather auspicious way as a boy soprano with the Washington National Cathedral choristers. Not long after, the young Hall had a watershed moment.
I went to the National Symphony in Constitution Hall, and the horn player stood up and played Till Eulenspiegel. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. And the rest is history.
Fast forward to Hall's apprenticeship with George McCracken, and his desire to play rather than fix and make horns was stirring. So he did something that would bring him to California and change his life.
I missed playing my horn, and I sent a cassette tape to Leonard Bernstein, who hired me to be the principal horn of the LA Philharmonic Institute at the Hollywood Bowl.
That led to stints with various orchestras in the West before he finally landed with the San Diego Symphony. Then, a few years ago, he got a call from a then 92-year-old George McCracken who was ready to retire.
And I was a little bit shocked because, of course, you never want something like that to end. And so we designed these horns, and I helped him finish other instruments that he was trying to get done. And then he said, you got to buy the shop. And I'm like, okay. And I end up putting it all in a pod, a moving pod, and moved it here. And it was an adventure.
The adventure continues for this skilled musician, steeped in the tradition of the French horn.
Most musicians are looking for a sound. How can they make the most beautiful sound that they possibly can? Of course, the French horn is one of the most beautiful instruments. It's very romantic.
George McCracken died in 2024. Now, the desire to keep French horns in the musical mix continues to power the romance between Doug Hall and his beloved instruments. A fulfilling next chapter in the soundtrack of his life. John Carroll, KPBS News.